So this is that trough here. The low or trough that we have here towards the end of the day. And it looks like this is the resistance that we've come up against many times before in the orange, followed by this decline off of it. Right. Okay. So like I said, today would be tricky, difficult to determine if we go lower or not. So hopefully people got out of that short position there around the cusp of the 21st. Tomorrow's decline. Oh, wow. Maybe not. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to determine. It's difficult. There's not a lot to go off of to determine where we're going to open tomorrow. So I'm just trying to look at, see if I can find anything that kind of gives it away. Revisiting support that we recently met once before. I think we probably open. I think we probably open lower. But with a big move higher in the very beginning of the day. Either that or there's a high we decline into a low and then there's a big move higher. But my sense is we likely open low unless we see at the end of the day a brief peak that's easily missed followed by a decline. Like there should be a a rally along a diagonal trend line after revisiting a support level that we recently met once before, and it looks like we're revisiting support level that we recently met once before right around now. Right, so then there's a rally along a diagonal trend line in like around the close or into the close, but that rally does end with a fast sudden move higher and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down, and that could be combined. It could be a fast sudden move higher that makes a brief peak easily missed and then a decline through multiple support levels. But we'll see just how if we have like a big decline end of day, then I'd say there's more likely a chance of opening higher, but with a decline from like a peak in the pre-market to a low and then off of the low a big move higher. A lot of price change back and forth here first thing in the morning. If we do have that rally into the end of the day with a fast sudden move higher and then a breakdown, but there isn't much of a breakdown after that diagonal rally, I would say more likely to open lower tomorrow because this is pretty bearish energy here. But the Knight of Wands, it implies a rally before the decline. It's a bearish card, but it always follows a rally, the decline on it. So hey Tabriz, hey Carolyn, hey AV. Should you keep your short position open until tomorrow? It's really risky because I'm not definite. It could go either way. The open. Um, and it looks like a pretty bullish day. But I think we probably open lower, and I'll tell you why. Because when we look at the 1 month, we've got a pretty bearish day here. We didn't have a like much of a bearish day today, really. Tomorrow, there's some bearish energy there, especially it looks like maybe overnight or around the cusp of the 24th, 25th. But since on the 1 day it's not bearish, it's actually looking pretty bullish. I would say that that bearish energy probably takes place overnight. And then the adjustment card implies in a lot of cases that we're oversold, and the big move out of oversold. The adjustment card is often a big move out of oversold territory, so we could drop down into oversold territory overnight. Uh, Not on that chart, but on a 1 day, it's possible we could open on below the 20 line on the RSI. And my sense is that we may very well go lower here, guys, because it's possible that this is the support level that we revisit, and that's my sense, is that this is probably the support level that we revisit somewhere around there because of this low here at the end of the day. Um, to Brace, to answer your question, I would say if you can get out in the midst of this drop, like if we go down to these lows here today, or if we make a new low here at the end of the day, I would say probably a good idea to get out of that short position because I'm not 100% here. This could open either way. There's a lot saying to the downside, so you could risk it if you want. And then the fact is that even if we open higher, it looks like there's a pretty notable move into a low here because the Princess of Swords does indicate a lot of price change. Okay, so we've got the three pokes here through a key through the same price level, basically one here, one here, one here. That would indicate that tomorrow probably we decline after the close tomorrow, and it's pretty mixed on Wednesday. So I would say look for a pretty notable low here at the end of the day. If we don't get like down to here, because there's a trade opportunity here. See at end of day. Right, so this is the love card. This peak here, full retracement of that move. Revisit support. This is the diagonal rally along a diagonal trend line with a bit of a move right at the very end, and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. It's also a brief peak that's easily missed. So I think we probably are going to go to the low side. This is probably um, we're probably moving here to the downside. So you may get an opportunity here right at the end of the day to get out of that short position to brace. Do I reckon tomorrow is a better day to get into BTC long than today? Jeez. All right, so I would say that's a pretty strong indication that this at the end of the month is going to be a low based on how much we've dropped here. Um, Matter of fact, so this is a significant trough. You could say that was too. This was a significant trough, big move to the upside. So we're probably in the midst of the low right here. Actually, this looks like we're probably in the second trough here. So it looks like we're a day early in real time in relation to the pattern thus far. Right now, we're already into the 25th's energy. We had this big move to a peak or crest here, and then a decline that offers opportunity to open up a long position. But I would probably wait until tomorrow, first thing in the morning, to open that long position. Unless we open higher. If we open higher, I'd wait till end of day to open up that long position. I don't think we'll open high. Well, there's no open. So if we end up being higher than we are now, if we end up being higher in the like early part of tomorrow, I would say wait till the end of the day. But if we end up in a significant low, like lower than we are now, in early morning on the 26th, I would say that's when you want to get into that Bitcoin. I gotta get my dog real quick, guys. I'll be right back. Come on, little funny guy. You're a good boy. You're a good boy, you know. Everybody loves you. Everybody loves you, Hermes. You gonna sit in my lap? Just set up my room the way that I intended to have it from like the start of when I moved in, but it's like 6 months later because my parents had to move more stuff out. So it's pretty cool now. I've got a nice setup. Hey B, how's Apple looking for this week? Will it hit 185? So this is that big move higher to a peak, and then a big stay above resistance briefly, and then break back down. And that's that abundance card here, really up and then back down to where we started. It's looking pretty bearish actually for Apple here towards after today. It looks like it's pretty much downhill. We might open higher tomorrow, but then we'll sell off. And it looks like that decline continues into the 26th, possibly even the 27th. Like towards the end of towards the cusp of the 27th, 28th is where we probably have a bottom. And then like we start rallying like on the cusp of 27th, 28th, a failed attempt to break key resistance at a prominent crest or peak, and then a decline on the 28th after that failed attempt, like early in the day. 19th. I was off by like basically a day and a half on the high. Well, technically, the 20th is still, it's basically the high still on the 20th. If you take, not the intraday high, but the closing. I forget what the terminology is for that, but the candlestick portion without the wicks, the body. You looking at the body, we met the high already. So this is looking pretty solid, guys. And we had that low. Low was a little later for Apple than the rest of the. I have it on the 5th, 6th, ends up being on the 10th, 11th. A little bit off there, but we nailed the highs. Not going to get it right every time, but I'll tell you the September readings that I've done thus far, I feel pretty strong. I feel are really like I got back in my groove. I feel like in July and August I wasn't doing as well as I normally do. Hey, April. Will Tesla be bullish or bearish the next couple of days? Okay, so we definitely nailed the low thus far for Tesla. Nailed that low. Looks like we were a little late on the high. It ended up being the fortune card. Interesting. The fortune card can sometimes indicate a high. Right, and then decline into a low here. Big move on the 24th, offering an opportunity to open up a short position. Yeah, so tomorrow we'll likely be lower than where we are now in Tesla at some point. And that would be an exit there in a prominent trough. It would be an exit. So we have a prominent trough here on the 24th, and then we move to the upside, and then tomorrow we'll have another prominent trough. And I would look to exit the short position on Tesla there. Looks like we move to the upside on the 26th, 27th. There could be a pretty big pop here. This is a breakout. Oh, matter of fact. So if you opened up at the low, if you opened up a long position, you could close that long position on the 27th if you wanted. And then opening up a short position around where we are now, you could close that tomorrow on the 25th. In the midst of some sideways, like mixed behavior, we'll revisit a trough. Or, I mean, we'll create a prominent trough. If it doesn't end up being tomorrow, it would definitely be the next day. But I think it's likely tomorrow. You're welcome to Braze. Hey, April. Oh, I said hey already. Will ET drop below 1320 by end of the week? ET. Will ET drop below 1320 by the end of the week? I got a no for that. It's kind of mixed sideways behavior throughout the week with like a slant to the upside, and then at the end of the week maybe a slant back down. Can UPST still hit 75 this week? Will UPST hit $75 this week? I got a yes. So it looks like it's kind of what we're doing is we have it's the luxury card. So the pattern for the luxury card, Hermes moved, goof. The pattern for the luxury card is a decline from a crest or peak down to and through support, and then we do a U-shaped reversal, come back and reuse that support as supports. But let me double. I want to make sure that's a yes too. Always on those yes or nos, I like to just make sure. It's a maybe. Interesting. That's why I double check. And that makes sense. You see how it's a mixed card? It gives you a mixed, like a maybe rather than a yes or no. You get a little bit of both. So does UPST hit $75 by the end of next week? I got a yes. So it could be it might take a little bit longer, but it looks like the end of next week there's a rally that offers opportunity to open up a short position. Do I still see a high for Bitcoin this month on the 31st? Probably not. Let me take a closer look. It wasn't my best Bitcoin. Probably one of my worst Bitcoins, or one of my least accurate readings, really. There was so much going on, and like I said, like almost the entire month is just this sideways back and forth behavior, indicating highs and lows pretty difficult. Although I really should have seen this as a low. It's a pretty obvious low to me looking at it now. There's a lot indicating a low here. Oops. On the 3rd. I don't know if it's going to be a highest high. It's probably not going to be a highest high, but we are going to go to the upside over the next, well, maybe not tomorrow, but towards the end of the week into the 30th, 31st, we should move to the upside. Like I said, if you opened up a long position, oh wait, that was a different trade, but it's a similar thing going on. So we have this low and then a move around the 28th to the upside. Interesting. Matter of fact, there might be a pretty big move here on the 28th. A little bit of a decline out of a rally on the 27th and then the 28th, a big move to the upside, probably out of like a scary low or a scary decline. Big move to the upside to a prominent crest or peak. It might be another big spike. There was one on the second. Yeah, see the star card into a peak or crest there. It's going to be a pretty notable peak there, so I would count on it going to the upside here into the end, like towards the end of this week. Thank you, Hermes. I love you too. My UVAS video appeared blank. Weird. Hermes, can you get out of my face, you little face talker? Hey Conrad. Looks like the science card today had a resistance level of around 454. We see that level again tomorrow, right? Let's take a look. I'm gonna have to figure something out with my mic because it's really in the way. It's annoying me. Yeah, I would say about 454. You're on point with that pricing, and then it might be the same price level. There's nothing indicating like with a lot of certainty that it is. But there's an important price level tomorrow that we're bumping up against three times during trading, maybe fourth time first thing in the morning. We declined from a high there at resistance to a low, and then back to price level where we try to poke through it here. Decline, rally back to it, failed to break through, decline, a rally back to it again, fall from a peak or crest again through multiple supports. And then it does look, so this looks like a pretty, it is possible that these are new highs too. It might not be the same resistance uh, throughout the whole day, but I think it probably is based on the, I might be reading it wrong because it's actually the Sorrow card sneak preview. So it takes place here as a congruency, three pokes through the same price level, a drop. These may be higher price levels actually. Actually there is something indicating it's either a trade or they're the same price level. So we'll have to see when we get to the midday. If we go higher, then I would say that this is going to be an even higher one. But if we turn around right around the same price level as early in the morning here, I'd say we probably do the same thing here for a third time. So midday will kind of like tell us which way we're going. Oh, so we did have a bit of a move around here. Okay, so then that puts us into the Knight of Wands right now. This is a rally long diagonal trend line. It should end with a fast sudden move higher and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line. If we see that breakdown here today, there's more likely possibility of us opening higher tomorrow. But if we don't see that decline today at the end of the day, then I would say there's a strong possibility that we open lower. I don't see a question from you, Proof. I see hi. And then I see, I think you missed my question above, but I didn't, there's no question there. It just goes from hi to, I think you missed my question above. Hey, Taro, is the 26th the highest high for SPY? Yeah, I think so. I think it's the 26th. Strong likelihood. I think probably stronger possibility than the 31st, just based on these cards. If this ends up being this full card ends up being a big decline, let's see what it looks like on the 28th. Then I would say this is more likely to be a prominent trough than a highest high. But if it's a big move to the upside for the full card, then we may fall from a highest high. But I think this is the strongest location where we would see it here. Matter of fact, the 19th was also another location where there's a strong possibility of a high site, and I missed that in the original reading. But looking at it now, it makes sense. So it's either the same high or it'll be a higher high there on the 26th. And we'll sell off from that crest down to and through support, do a U-shaped reversal below support, come back and maybe reuse that support temporarily. But there's a pretty big move to the upside at the end of the day there on the 26th, back to a peak or crest. And there's a speaker there on the 26th. I think we established that was going to be the Fed. Everybody loves you, Hermes. Does the Fed raise rates on the 26th? Interesting. Now I got a yes. Yikes. Does the Fed raise rates? Does the Fed raise rates, the interest rate on the 26th of July 2023? I gotta know. And I'm gonna go with that one. That was a pretty solid no. Does the Fed raise interest rates on July 26, 2023? I got a no clairkinetically just now. But we should be in bullish positions until the 26th. Let's take a look. There's a low here around the cusp of the 24th, 25th. There's a trough here. And I would say from that trough, I'd want to get in. And it's going to be it's going to be a peak where we stay above a resistance level briefly and then we break back down. Do I think X4 will hit $3 in August? Oops, let me put that one back. So overall trend direction for X4 in the month of August 2023. To the downside. August is looking bearish, actually. Something that was cause for excitement kind of goes sour. It's no longer cause for excitement. It's kind of cause for concern, maybe. That's generally what the debauch card is about. Something that was cause for like positive optimism becomes something. It no longer is something to be optimistic about. It even may have become something pessimistic. Hey, Proof. XRP, if it's possible, still for high next days, or possible for lowest low instead if following BTC. Let's take a look. Let's see what we got here. It gets pretty wild over the next couple of days. I'm seeing some significant troughs and peaks throughout the 25th, 26th, 27th. Looks like 2 troughs and 2 peaks. Maybe 3 peaks. And then the 19th, that double X could indicate the highest high. The 6th was a lowest low, it looks like. Was it the 5th, 6th? The 6th, we were off by a day, it looks like. But then the 19th ended up being a prominent high. I don't see a lowest low there for XRP. I see a prominent trough, maybe 2 or 3 of them, but they're in the midst of prominent crests as well. And I see more likelihood that we move to the upside here between the 25th. The 25th might be bearish. There's a trough there around the end of day, but I think we probably move to the upside out of that trough to a crest early in the day on the 26th. Matter of fact, the 4th was this was really a lowest low, and it was pretty deep down off of the line, which is kind of how I kind of misread it a little bit. The further that they get from the timeline cards, the less importance they have in relation to the timeline. But In that case, it ended up being pretty much on point. The double X is in a lot of cases, the double X will indicate a lowest low. And since this stone ends up being a lowest low, there's a stronger possibility of seeing a highest high here. I think that Magus here on the 20. There's a move. There's going to be like a move out of this. So a trough there on the, or excuse me, a crest there on the 23rd. And then we should have a pretty notable move to the upside. Looks like we have a little bit of a move there. It's pretty mixed for XRP. It's going to get kind of wild in over the next few days. Hard to determine, but I don't see a lowest low there. There's more likelihood to see a highest high than a lowest low. Around 2 p.m., what would be the market direction on the 26th around 2 p.m.? A big move to the upside and then a decline. That's a big move to the upside and a trade opportunity there. We revisit a crest. Well, it's nullified, so hard to say for sure, but there's a chance we revisit a crest that was recently an opportunity on like a multi-day scale. It's pretty declining into the Fed meeting, and then a big move higher, like right around 215 to a high, and then that offers opportunity to open up a short position. End of day, we revisit a support level that we met once before. It'll be a multi-day kind of support level at a low for the day. Okay, so we did come back here. Let's take a look. Guys, I'm not going to skip you. So if it looks like I skip you, I got to hop forward to the people who are paying for the chat membership, because they're paying for, priority response. So I'll come back to you in just a bit. WorldCoin. Next bullion? What do you mean next bullion, Carlin? WorldCoin just launched today. Do you think it's going to be a top crypto coin next? Do you mean next year? WorldCoin. I'm going to pull one card for WorldCoin. I'll pull one card for the overall energy of WorldCoin. The Priestess, not the most auspicious card. There's something hidden. Do you think MOVR will survive 2024 bull run? Do you mean, will it survive a 2024 Bearish run? I mean, it's definitely going to survive a bull run. Are you asking if it's going to have a bull run in 2024? Moon River token? I got a maybe card for that. What'll be the overall trend direction in 2024 for... What will be the overall trend direction in 2024 for Moon River token? Decline. It's looking pretty bearish. A decline that increases with momentum moving forward inside the Prince of Cups. Best time to short Riot and RIVN for long swing. On like a multi-day kind of swing trade, the best time to short Riot. I got the Ace of Cups, or excuse me, the Prince of Cups again. I want to shuffle better. That's interesting. All right, Two of Cups. So the best time, I guess, coming up would be the 21st, June 21st through July 1st. But if you're looking for something over like the next few weeks, or excuse me, next few days. Looks like today is the best day to short it. And then Hermes, can you move, buddy? And the best time to short RIVN. Looks like a week from Thursday is the best day to short RIVN. A week from Thursday. So that's what date? August 3rd for RIVN. Oh, my bad, AV. Will UPST go to at least $65 this week? I got a no for that. What are my feelings about Tenet crypto for September period? Hey, Robert. It's kind of mixed. There may be some sort of decision, an important decision that'll stand out in the month of September, and or like a merger of some kind, if that's even possible. It's probably a decision, and it looks like we moved to the upside out of something scary, out of like a scary chart pattern, or in the face of seemingly overwhelming headwinds. The Discord group, I could do a Discord group, but that would be something that would be for, like, you'd pay to be part of that Discord group. It would be like a YouTube membership thing. But I could probably set something up like that. All right. Every financial institution indicator expects Fed to raise rates. Yeah, that somebody was on here talking crap on the YouTube, like laughing because of my prediction. And I was just like, don't bother with this person. I meet one of them every day. Appreciate that commentary there, IG. Because I can't remember everything that I predict. I do way too many predictions, different tickers. So it's cool when you guys tell me that concurs with your BTC bullish reading for July. Awesome. Do I think XTZ coin will reach its previous high of $8 in 2024? I got a yes for that. We have two very big CME gaps in Bitcoin at 20K and 36K. Will we reach 20K first? Will we reach 20K before 36K? No. I got a no for that, IG. Okay, well, there's somebody else who wants the Discord. Heard you to breathe. So I'll set something up, guys. Oh, and Conrad too. Cool. Did any prisoners ever escape Alcatraz other than Conrad? Was there a prisoner named Conrad, or are you making fun of Conrad Felix? I got a yes to other prisoners escaping. On the Tesla reading, the EWAS reading, or the EWAS ruin. July 25th. So that ruin is pretty directional. When it's on its side like that, it usually indicates some sideways behavior, like for an extended amount of time. And we do see sidewaysy kind of stuff going on here on the 25th. But depending on what direction this is moving, it'll say different things. Heard, Robert. I'll get in. I'll check out this Discord thing. All right, my friends. With that said, I'm gonna roll. Thank you so much for watching. You know what? Let's recap the daily. Oh yikes! Look at that. That's interesting. I wonder if that goes away. What happened? All right. So it looks like we did have a rally into the end of the day. Fast sudden move higher, marking the end of that rally, and then a breakdown. We should see a breakdown through that diagonal trend line. We're likely going to open lower, is my sense. Um, okay, we may not open lower, but we'll decline in if we open higher in the pre-market, we'll decline into a low around the um, right around the open, and then a big move out of that low, or we just open lower and interesting. I'll be interested to see where we open tomorrow. It's a little difficult to determine. Oof, look at that. That's pretty interesting. So tomorrow, probably first thing in the morning, or not first thing in the morning, first thing around the open, you probably want to open up, or excuse me, close a short position before this big move. If you miss that big move, man, it's going to be a pretty bullish move here at the beginning of the day to meet resistance. And we poke through resistance 3 times. Sharp drop from that third poke. But then that's followed by rally again into another high, or either the same price level or a higher price level. Yeah, so really you want to get out in the midst of like a decline into a low there right around the open, like a decline out of the pre-market into a low right around the open before a big move to the upside. It doesn't look like there's much. There may be another opportunity if you miss it here towards the end of the 10 to 11 o'clock hour, but I wouldn't count on it. You want to get out at that low most likely. And that's the S&P for tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, make sure to follow that rule of karma. You do so here on the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders, where angel investors of the channel are donating 5% of the profits that they make forward to one of these charities, and 5% of the profits that they make back to the channel here. Thank you very much. That leaves them with 90% of the money left over, and make sure to spend that money out of love. As long as you follow those rules, the universe is going to send it back to you tenfold, my friends. I'll see you guys on the next one. Is it safe to be long in UPST through August? I got a yes for that. All right, guys. Have a good one.